Ben, co-owner of Hickory Dickory Docks in Hubbard Lake. And many of you know that we manufacture boat docks. And in lieu of it being boat show season, I brought a couple dock wheels in because that seems to be the most asked question at the boat shows. When people see the wheels on the docks, they ask why we use steel wheels. And so I thought I'd bring a couple in the office just to kind of give you a good example of what I'm talking about when I'm explaining it to people. The styles that we have here, and I brought this wheel in from the Outback. This is between 25 and 30 years old, this steel wheel right here. And you can see it's all open in the middle. You get a lot of that flow through action for the waves to blow through. It doesn't move the dock as the waves go through and pass by. And on our experience on Hubbard Lake, where it gets 4 and 5 foot waves quite often, they seem to hold up a lot better. As you can see, we use a 1-inch axle tube. There's very little to no play in that tube. And over 30 years of the dock going in and out, you can see how tight it is still. Now, this is a dock wheel that we took off a customer's dock, or it fell off the dock, and I brought in here to kind of show you what happens over. This dock was about 10 years old, and you can see the kind of side-to-side wiggle you're going to get over the years after that hub wears out. Now, not only does it wear out from the dock going in and out every year, but it also wears out from the wave action beating against this thing. Not only does, now these spindles on most of those manufacturers out there, the spindle is actually aluminum. And what will happen is the spindle will actually wear out and the spindle will break versus the wheel breaking off. But we have seen it other different ways. As you can see, this one's got a few little wear spots where it rattled on the rocks and rubbed through. And so that's kind of why we stick with the steel wheels. We've been doing this a long time. This is just one example of hundreds that we've pulled out of the lakes over the years. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to get these things out in the parking lot, and we're going to do what we call a structural integrity test. Let's do it. Okay, so here we are. We're out in the barn, and we got one of our steel wheels in here. And got my helper Jack. He's gonna hold that axle stub, and I'm going to give this wheel a whack and see what kind of beating it'll take. Okay, so as you can see, you got a little bit of bounce in it. You know, we got a little bit of a flat spot in it after that pretty good whack. Let's see what kind of whack the plastic will take. So as you can see in this view here, what kind of beating the wheels will take. So we got a little bit of a hole here, a little bit of a separation here, and then we got a little bit of a separation going on down on the bottom. So they just don't take the beating that the steel wheels will. And you can actually see in the hub here where over the last few years, the center has wore right out. So if we grab the steel wheel. Now, I'm not going to say it's perfect because it's not. We got a little bit of bend in the rod and a little bit of bend on the flat. But this wheel is still going to function the same way it did for the first 30 years for the next 30 years. And that's our structural integrity test.